Lately, we're hearing a lot more from our customers around the people challenges, right? The getting people to actually adopt the digital technology and change their work practices to using digital tools and technology when they're used to just doing things the way they've done it for 20 years. Well, you know, the term smart manufacturing is a very broad term. There's a lot of new technologies being applied to manufacturing right now. And it starts with and includes things like new techniques for manufacturing, like additive manufacturing, using sensors and sensor data to drive software and analytics. And as another very large field, usually that's called, industrial Internet of Things is the term that we hear a lot, for that. And then there's other new technologies like RFID that can be used for tracking of products and to help speed up supply chain and manufacturing type activities in the actual factory or warehouse. So we work with a lot of companies in, the process industries, things like oil and gas, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, power generation. And for a lot of those industries, what we've seen is probably reliability and kind of maintenance savings is the biggest area they're interested in. A lot of those facilities have extensive sensor networks in place for controlling their processes, but they haven't done that for monitoring the actual equipment. So this idea of being able to pervasively install sensors using wireless networks to track things like actual equipment health and use that to drive maintenance activities and maximize the uptime and minimize the maintenance spend of their equipment, that's a very hot area right now for a lot of those customers, and that's where I think the one that they primarily see the biggest potential return in. So I think a lot of our customers are interested in two areas. One is better usage of the data they already have. As I mentioned, a lot of the customers we serve already have extensive sensor networks for monitoring their manufacturing processes. But they're also excited about getting data in all new areas, like their energy consumption, safety data, things about monitoring areas for toxic materials maybe, and then reliability. And reliability is, again, probably the one we see the biggest potential financial benefits in. So many of the challenges that our customers have faced as they look at embedding IoT start with kind of the technology aspects. How do I actually install more sensors? How do I put in a wireless network to collect that data? How do I securely and safely export that data to where it's going to be used? What's the actual software application or environment that data is going to be in? That was kind of the hot topics, I would say, in the last 2 or 3 years. Now what we're hearing more and more about is the actual people aspects of that. How do I get my workforce to truly embrace new digital ways of performing their job? How do I get them to use all this new digital data and tools to transform to do the way they do their work? Because they're so used to doing things the way they always had for the last 20 or 30 years without those digital tools. And then, of course, the third challenge a lot of them have is show me the money. Right? Where's the actual ROI? What are the solid applications you can point to with a confirmed business return so that they can know they're going to get a return on their investment in this new technology? All of our customers in the industries we serve have big privacy and security concerns. Obviously, a lot of the data is proprietary data, but also many of the processes are potentially hazardous processes, and they want to make sure that when they're sending data to us or even to their own cloud or their own computing infrastructure, that it's done securely, can't be interfered with, and can't be used for bad things to come into the processes. So we work with a number of partners and suppliers in our ecosystem, folks like Cisco, Microsoft, and we make sure we have very secure paths for sending data out. We actually have a little term for this. We call it the secure first mile because the data is coming out of the plant, not into the plant. And we have many different approaches that we can use depending on what the customer's architecture already looks like to make sure that that's done securely. When we look at who's actually in the end responsible for security and safety, it's always the end user. It's always the actual customer and consumer themselves, which is why they spend a lot of time very carefully scrutinizing how we're deploying these applications. Their IT people come in, look them over from a security point of view, because they know at the end they're going to have the ultimate responsibility. For industrial IoT, identity is not nearly the challenge that it is in consumer IoT. We're looking at data coming from manufacturing processes or particular products, so it's not like consumer where you might be looking at very personal data like health data, for instance, coming from a Fitbit. Some of the trends we're very excited about in industrial IoT are around sensors. We're a big sensor company. We've pioneered a lot of new sensor technology around things like vibration and corrosion that are brand new areas that our customers haven't seen before, and we always believe if you can directly measure something with a sensor, that's best. We're very excited about new methods of deployment of technology like cloud and doing analytics in the cloud. And we're very excited about kind of a new business model that's been enabled by IoT that's called the connected service, where instead of customers having to run some of these applications, we actually will collect their data and analyze it, provide them work instructions so that we can provide our domain experts when they don't happen to have that knowledge in-house.